The state of Vermont's agricultural sector is one that pops up in the news frequently. Long an iconic part of Vermont's economy and identity, farming, both for dairy and crops, have struggled in recent years as the number of farms dwindles consistently from year to year. But at the same time, there are signs of new life in agriculture, from younger farmers entering the business to organic farming and farmers markets, and a broadening of ways to generate income out of a farm setting. As it turns out, Open Farm Week is coming soon, from August 7th to the 14th. During the 2022 Vermont Open Farm Week, you can meet the farmers, plants, and animals that bring you your favorite high-quality Vermont food products.
So when the cows push the paddle, the milk or the water fills the bowl, and then as soon as they're done drinking, it drains back into the ground, 5 feet down, so it doesn't freeze. Yeah, they work really well.
The event is sponsored by Dig In VT, a project of the Vermont Agriculture and Culinary Tourism Council. But around the North Shire and in the nearby Meadowy Valley, you don't have to wait for Open Farm Week to check out local farms, several of which are opening themselves up for agritourism, or bed and breakfasts with a farming twist, or farm-to-table dinners, such as the one that took place Sunday, July 24th, at the Wayward Goose Farm in West Pawlet. There, a farm-to-table dinner with a Spanish theme was hosted by the farm, which is owned by Dan and Lori Brooks, who bought the farm in 2011 and have maintained a small herd of cows since then. They sell raw milk, veggies, and meat through their on-site farm store. We asked Dan Brooks to tell us a little bit more about how the farm-to-table dinners at the Wayward Goose Farm came to be.
We started in 2011. We had to do a lot of work on the barn to make it ready for animals and put a whole new floor in and a new gable end on the barn. And I did know a lot about cows and farming, and didn't know that much about fixing up and starting a place from scratch, but we learned as we went. And yeah, but I came from a 5th generation dairy farm and been in the family for years. We've diversified a bit and gotten a little more into raising a little more beef. We built our own little farm store, so we're trying to grow more of our own vegetables and potatoes and have a little market garden, but we also sell vegetables from other local organic growers and a lot of other producers from the area. We have stuff from their farms in our store as well.
So what gave you the idea to do these farm-to-table dinners? Is this the first year you've done them?
No, we had 3 of them before the pandemic and did them like in our backyard. We set up tables up there, but Lori had to do all of the cooking and all of the work, and we just decided it was too much work and not that enjoyable when she had to do all of that hard work. And meanwhile, our son opened his brewery in Brandon and had a chef that works with my other son-in-law at the Bosie's in Glens Falls. He runs the culinary program there, and so we got to know him a little bit and just talked about it and decided to try having a farm dinner in our haymow, and so that's how it came about, I guess.
And Lori Brooks is still involved, but more as an artist as opposed to being the cook.
So I did some original block prints, and each person gets one of the 3. And the reason chose to do these is because these are all animals. This is a muskrat, this is a possum, and this is a brown thrasher. And we've seen them, they live on the farm, all these animals, certain ones, so that's why I chose them.
Tonight, Chef Landell Eady was getting ready to serve a couple of dozen guests who had come for the farm-to-table dinner.
Yes, Dan and Lori has graciously invited me back. We got a trip to Spain here in Vermont. We're going to be starting off with a lot of great, wonderful tapas, going into some nice farm salads, and finishing off with a great paella. There's just an abundance of great produce, local vendors right up the road and down the road with some wonderful meats and cheeses. And naturally in my mind, I'm just like, Dan and Lori have the most awesome chicken in the whole world. I'm like, why not put together a paella? Throw some wonderful produce and some seafood and some great chicken into one dish, bake it off, and there you go. I gotta tell you, you just naturally feel a little bit better. I got some sweet onions that were like amazing. They weren't filled with not that much sulfur, like you didn't get any of that like burning in your chest. It was just sweet. Tomatoes that just tasted like a season, right? Tasted like spring and summer. And then the thing about it is you see the sweat, you see the equity that goes into farming, right? When you're working with somebody, and that product is being shown when we're cooking tonight. So
are you going to be explaining to the audience or the people there
so
what's going to be going on?
What we do is we just kind of go through everything. Tonight it'll probably go a little bit faster because we are battling a little bit of heat, and I don't want all of us to kind of bake out here. But we'll talk a lot about the food. We'll have a good time. We'll explain where certain dishes came from and how I interpreted it. Everything will be pretty authentic to Spanish cuisine, though.
Farming today requires some creativity and flexibility. The Wayward Goose, named for a blind goose named Oscar who wandered off and was found by the Brooks' daughter Margot when she was working at the nearby Consider Bardwell Farm, runs a farm store as well. In 2013, the Vermont Sustainable Agriculture Council named Wayward Goose Farm as the Farm of the Year. They pay close attention to environmental impacts of their work as well as treating their guests to a good meal. Oh, and the cows seem to be pretty friendly too. For the GNAT-TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.